You know, I was talking to my neighbor Margaret last week, sweetest woman you'll ever meet, always baking cookies for the grandkids, and she said something that stopped me in my tracks. She whispered, "I think I sent money to a stranger who called pretending to be my grandson. But please don't tell my family." Her voice shook like she'd just confessed a crime, and my heart broke a little, because Margaret's not alone. Have you ever hung up the phone after talking to a loved one and felt like something wasn't quite right? Maybe they brushed off your questions about a new investment opportunity or changed the subject when you asked about a strange charge on their credit card. Or maybe you've been the one hiding a slip-up, a phishing email you clicked, a too-good-to-be-true offer you almost fell for, because you didn't want anyone to think you'd lost your edge. Friends, today we're breaking the silence on one of the most heartbreaking issues facing seniors today, the scam epidemic. Every day, smart, savvy people are being targeted, not because they're gullible, but because scammers are good at their jobs. And here's what keeps me up at night. So many families never talk about it. Not really. We tiptoe around it, make excuses, or worse, pretend it's not happening. But silence? That's exactly what these criminals are counting on. So let's pull up a chair and have an honest conversation. Why do families stay quiet when a loved one's been targeted? And more importantly, how can we fight back together? Let's start with the biggest reason families clam up. Fear. Fear of embarrassing someone we love. Fear of sounding accusatory. Fear that if we push too hard, our parent or spouse will shut down completely. Take Margaret. She didn't tell her daughter about that scam call because she was terrified of losing her independence. "If I admit I made a mistake," she told me, "they'll take away my checkbook, my phone, my dignity." And you know what? She's not wrong to worry. We've all heard horror stories about overstepped boundaries, adult children swooping in to fix things without asking, making their parent feel like a child again. But here's the flip side. Scammers thrive in that climate of fear. They're experts at isolating people, convincing them to keep secrets. "Don't tell your family," they'll say. "They'll just slow you down." And suddenly, the person you love most is protecting a criminal's lies instead of leaning on you. Now, the second reason hits closer to home: guilt and shame. I'll never forget when my friend Carl got duped by a fake IRS call. He's a retired engineer, sharp as a tack, but the scammers scared him into buying $500 in gift cards. When his son finally found out, Carl's face crumpled. "I've always been the one who fixes things," he said. "How could I be so stupid?" Stupid. Carl's anything but. But that shame, it's like quicksand. It keeps people from speaking up, from reporting scams, from warning others. And here's what breaks my heart. Many seniors would rather lose their life savings than admit they've been tricked. They'll drain accounts, take out loans, even skip meals to hide the truth. All because they're afraid of letting us down. Which brings me to the third reason families stay silent: generational gaps. Raise your hand if this sounds familiar. Your grandkid tries to explain phishing emails, and you nod along while thinking, "I just check my AOL account once a week. How bad could it be?" Or maybe you've been on the other side, frustrated because your dad insists on writing checks to every charity that sends him a free address label, no matter how many times you warn him. It's not that we don't care, it's that we're speaking different languages. Boomers grew up trusting voice-to-voice interactions. If someone's polite on the phone, they must be legitimate. Gen X and millennials? We're suspicious of everything that's not encrypted. But instead of bridging that gap, we often talk past each other. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Have you ever tried to warn a loved one about scams, only to have them shrug it off? Or maybe you've been the one thinking, "I've handled my own affairs for 60 years. Why are they treating me like a toddler?" Drop a comment below. Your story could help another family start this crucial conversation. But here's the thing. Those very reasons we stay silent, the fear, the shame, the generational divide, those are the cracks scammers slip through. And the good news, we can seal those cracks. Because fighting back doesn't mean taking away independence or admitting defeat. It means building stronger connections, having smarter conversations, and giving each other the tools to stay safe without judgment. Next time, we'll dive into exactly how to do that. Practical, compassionate strategies you can start using today. But for now, I'll leave you with this. The strongest weapon against these criminals isn't a firewall or a fraud alert. It's trust. The kind of trust that lets us say, "I'm worried about you," without fear. The kind that answers, "I'm worried too. Let's figure this out together." If this resonated with you, do me a favor. Tap that like button. It tells YouTube to share this video with others who might need it. And if you've got a friend or family member who's been targeted, share this video with a simple note. Let's look out for each other. Sometimes that's all it takes to start healing the silence. You know what I've realized? The hardest part about fighting scams isn't outsmarting the criminals, it's starting the conversation. Because let's face it, nobody wants to sit their loved one down and say, "Hey, I think you might get duped one day." It feels condescending, right? Like we're questioning their smarts or their independence. But here's the truth. Having that talk isn't about doubting them. It's about doubting the scammers and giving your family the tools to beat them at their own game. So let's talk about how to fight back. And I promise, this isn't about memorizing tech jargon or handing over your checkbook to someone else. It's about building a safety net that works for you. First up, proactive, not paranoid communication. My friend Edna, sharp as a whip at 78, came up with a genius system with her granddaughter. They have a safe word. Sounds like something from a spy movie, doesn't it? But here's how it works. If someone calls claiming to be a relative in trouble, "Grandma, I'm in jail. Send money," Edna asks, "What's our safe word?" If they can't answer, click. Call ends. No guilt, no second guessing. Now, Edna's grandkids update their safe word every Thanksgiving. Last year it was pumpkin pie. This year it's turkey trot. Simple? Yes. Effective? Absolutely. Because it turns a scary what if into a game plan. But what if your family's not on board yet? Maybe they roll their eyes when you bring up scams, or say, "Don't worry, Mom, I've got it handled." Here's a phrase that's worked wonders for folks in our community. I need your help to feel safe. Not you're being reckless, not you're going to get scammed, just I need us to look out for each other. It's amazing how that shifts the conversation from confrontation to connection. Now, let's talk about the elephant in the room. Technology. I know. Some of you are thinking, I barely use my flip phone. How am I supposed to spot a phishing email? But here's the good news. You don't need to become a computer whiz. You just need a few guardrails. Take my buddy George. He's 82 and proud of it. He set up 2 rules with his daughter. 1, any email asking for money or personal info gets forwarded to her immediately. No shame, no questions. 2, if a pop-up appears on his screen saying, "Your computer has a virus," he doesn't click a thing. He just hollers, "Jenny, code red," and she walks him through it. Does George feel like a burden? Not one bit. Because his daughter framed it perfectly. "Dad, you're helping me sleep at night." And that's the key, making it a team effort, not a parent-child power struggle. Now, halfway through here, I'd love to hear from you. Have you and your family come up with a creative way to outsmart scammers? Maybe a secret code word? A check-in system? Share it in the comments. You might just inspire someone else to start their own family safety plan. And if you're finding this helpful, hit that like button. It tells YouTube to share this video with more wonderful folks like you. All right, let's tackle the money talk. I get it. Finances are private, sacred even. My generation was raised to keep money matters hush-hush. But scammers know that, and they're counting on it. So here's a gentle suggestion. Pick one person you trust, a child, a niece, a longtime friend, and give them view-only access to your accounts. Not control, just eyes. That way, if a strange charge pops up, $500 at Best Buy, but I haven't left the house, they can flag it without you feeling watched. Margaret, the neighbor I mentioned earlier, she and her daughter set up a system where every Sunday they review her bank statements over tea. At first, Margaret hated it, said it felt like being audited. But now, she calls it her fraud-fighting latte hour. They catch up, laugh, and keep an eye out for red flags. Turns out it's not about oversight, it's about shared sight. And finally, this one's tough but crucial. Practice saying, "I don't know." Scammers love to pressure us. This offer expires in 10 minutes. Your social security number will be suspended. They want panic, not logic. So here's your new mantra. I don't make decisions without my team. Whether that team is your daughter, your lawyer, or your weekly bridge group, it doesn't matter. Buy yourself time, hang up, breathe, and remember, real businesses and government agencies, they'll never rush you, ever. Next time, we'll dive into the biggest mistakes well-meaning families make and how to avoid them. But until then, here's my challenge for you. Reach out to one person this week and say, "Let's be scam busters together." It could be the start of something powerful. And if you're watching this with someone you love, pause the video right now. Ask them, what's one thing we could do to protect each other? Sometimes the simplest questions open the biggest doors. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. We've got more real talk conversations like this coming your way. And remember, growing older doesn't mean growing vulnerable. It means growing wiser, together. You know, I've been thinking a lot about my Aunt Rose lately. She passed away a few years back, but she'd have turned 95 this month. Sharp as a tack, that woman could outcalculate a cash register in her head, but even Rose got tripped up once. A smooth-talking caller convinced her she'd won a free cruise, and she gave him her Medicare number just to confirm eligibility. When we found out, she was mortified. "I've lived through wars and recessions," she said, "and I let some sweet-talker in a call center fool me." But here's what I told her, and what I'll tell you. Scammers don't win when they steal your money. They win when they steal your confidence. And friends, we're not letting that happen. So let's talk about the final piece of this puzzle, reclaiming your power. Because fighting back isn't just about avoiding scams, it's about refusing to let fear dictate how you live. First, let's tackle the aftermath. What if the worst has already happened? Maybe you sent money to a scammer, shared personal details, or clicked a link you shouldn't have. Here's what you need to know. It's not your fault. These criminals are professionals. They study human psychology, rehearse scripts, and exploit our deepest instincts to help a grandchild in trouble, to trust a friendly voice from the IRS. So step one, let go of the shame. Report it. Tell someone. Because here's the truth. Every time we stay silent, we let these crooks keep preying on others. Now, how do you report a scam? It's simpler than you think. Save the number for the FTC's fraud hotline in your phone right now. I'll wait. Seriously, grab that pen on your counter. It's 1-877-FTC-HELP. One call. That's it. You don't need to file a formal report or navigate a website. Just tell them what happened. Why? Because law enforcement looks for patterns. Your story, yes, yours, could help shut down a whole operation. But here's where families often stumble, focusing on the loss, not the lesson. I'll never forget what Aunt Rose did after her scam. She turned her kitchen table into Fraud Fighter Central. Every Wednesday, her bridge club would come over, and they'd role-play scam calls. "Pretend you're the crook," she'd say, handing out scripts. They'd laugh, practice hanging up, and share tips over pie. By the time she passed, that group had reported over a dozen scams and saved countless neighbors. That's the spirit we need, because protecting ourselves isn't about building walls, it's about building community. So here's my challenge. Team up with a friend this month. Make a pact to call each other anytime something feels off. No judgment. No, I told you so. Just a simple, let's figure this out together. Now let's talk about the ultimate defense. Staying one step ahead. Scammers recycle the same tricks: grandparent scams, Medicare fraud, fake tech support. But here's your secret weapon. Local librarians. I'm serious. Libraries across the country host free scam prevention workshops. They'll show you how to spot phishing emails, block spam calls, and lock down your social media. No tech skills required, just bring your curiosity and a buddy. And if leaving the house isn't easy, call your local senior center. Many offer free, confidential check-ins, where volunteers will review your mail for suspicious offers or sit with you while you pay bills online. It's not about handing over control, it's about having a second set of eyes, like checking your mirrors before changing lanes. Before we wrap up, let's circle back to where we started. Silence. I want you to try something today. Say this out loud. I deserve to feel safe. Again, louder. I deserve to feel safe. That's not just a mantra, it's a revolution. Because when we stop whispering about scams and start shouting our worth, we take back the power. So let's make a promise to ourselves and each other. If something feels fishy, we'll speak up. If we slip up, we'll reach out. And if we see someone else struggling, we'll offer a hand, not a lecture. Thank you for being part of this conversation. If this series meant something to you, do two things for me. First, tap that subscribe button. It's free, and it helps us create more content that protects and empowers seniors like you. Second, share this video with someone you care about. Tag them in the comments and say, let's be each other's backup. And remember, my friends, aging isn't about losing your edge. It's about sharpening your wisdom and using it to light the way for others. Here's to living boldly, safely, and unapologetically at every wonderful stage of life.